Hi everybody, welcome to my hillside urban garden. Today we're going to do some maintenance on one of my wine barrels. So in this wine barrel here I have 3 tomato plants, and I've got a San Marzano, and I've got a couple different other cherries. I think one's a yellow grape and just a regular old little cherry. But one of the things that, since I've got several different tomatoes in here, you can see they started to drape over. They've got some leaves that some of them are sun scald, and then some of them are just, they're old, we have to take them off. So I'm going to be trimming this and we're going to be tying it up. So the first thing that I like to do really is tie them up. The easiest way to do this is use this type of landscaping tape. I like the green because usually then I can see where it's at as I'm tying it, but it also comes in different colors. And while we're doing this, don't cut this. It's harder to cut it while you're lifting up the leaf and trying to cut a piece. Cut yourself a bunch of pieces before you get started, because if you don't use some of these, you can always use them. There's going to be something else to tie up later. So I've already cut my pieces, and I have my small snips. You can use the small snips to do the leaves, or you can just use your regular pruners. That's fine too. Even a pair of scissors at this point for the tomatoes would work well too. But always remember, especially if you're going to use regular scissors from the house, spray them with some, like a little bit of bleach or some kind of disinfectant to make sure you're not putting any kind of disease or something back into your tomato plant. So let's get started. When I planted these, I planted 1 tomato cage and a couple of sticks in here, and then I just put in this green one here. So I thought maybe I might need one more to tie up. So let's get going. First of all, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to tie them up. I put my snips down, and let's get these going here. And which one here? So I can see. I've got this one. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to tie it back here. I have one of my sticks that I originally had put in here, and I'm just going to, I usually just tie just a regular knot. And that seems to work. So let's get this here. Tie it once, tie twice. And you want to do it the way that you want to do it. I have a walkway here and here, so I'm going to try to get these up so I can get these out of the way of the walkway. So here I can see that we've got, these are really going over. And sometimes, believe it or not, you're going to break a branch, and that's sad, but that does sometimes happen. So you do want to be a little bit careful. My strips are about 12 inches, 12 to 18 inches. It gives me plenty of room, so I don't have to get them really close. I can leave them leaning over just a little bit. And we're just going to go through here, and I'm just going to just keep grabbing, pulling up, and tie them. This particular one here, this is over here, but I've got my tomato cage, so I'm going to tie this one to the tomato cage. See if I can get it over here. There you go. I'm going to do one tie, then we're going to do the other tie. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep lifting up these branches to where I like to see how far lifted up this is. And I can see I've got this one here, and I've got an existing stick I put. We'll tie that to that. There you go. So there's a few more down here. I'm going to get those up. Once I get those up, we'll come back and I'll show you how it looks and how we're going to trim all the leaves. So see you in a minute. Okay, I got most of it all tied up now. So now's the time to go through here and do some trimming. So for me, I guess, like I said, this is the pathway. So I want to trim these up as much as I can, because by taking off the old discolored leaves, which would be the first thing that I'm going to do, and look at these. See how they're yellow? Discolored. They're starting to turn brown, and anything like this one here, you can see has been burned by the sun. I'm going to take all those off because we want the tomatoes to put its energy into making fruit, right? So with these leaves gone, it gets more energy to do that. Plus, again, with the air circulation, tomatoes like a lot of air circulation, so they don't get mold, and the bees can get in there and all that kind of stuff, so things can be pollinated. So I'm just going to go and I'm just going to find all these leaves, and if I find like a big branch or something, that's hanging down in a place I don't want to go, I'm going to cut that off too, because the tomato will just be stronger with all its other little branches out there. As a matter of fact, there's one down here. Look at that. That whole branch I'm taking off. And look, it even has some tomatoes on it. But it was on the ground and there was just no room to bring this one up and to tie it. And a couple times when I was having my hand cart, I ran over these because they were on the ground. And so there's another one up here, it's the same thing. I ran over, I'm going to cut that one off too. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it'll give us better tomatoes, it really will. So this one here I'm going to cut because it's got some damage here, because I did run over it with the hand cart even though I brought it all the way up. So we'll get rid of that because that can get disease in there. So I'm just going to go through here and I'm just going to get all the leaves off. You can see they pretty much come off. Sometimes you don't even need the clippers. And then anything that I think that needs some more air, we're going to go in here. And we're going to trim those back. We're going to try to trim it just like we trim anything up. We'll try to trim it up. We're going to try to trim it up so the air can circulate in there. And sometimes it's a little difficult to get your hands in there. Just be patient. Put them in there. See where the edge is. And take a snip. So look. Got that whole branch off. It's got some dead, it's got some discoloration, and that's going to make more air down in there. So everybody, go out with your trimmers and your landscape tape and trim up your tomatoes. If they're starting to drag on the ground or they're getting a little bit too thick, clean them up. Take all the dead stuff off. Make air circulation. Get them off the ground, and they'll be a lot happier for it. Now once we're all done here, I'm going to take my liquid fertilizer and I'm going to fertilize the tomatoes. The perfect opportunity after we're trimming it to give it some food, and that'll give it a good boost to produce even more. So there you go. Thanks for watching the video today, and always remember to be safe in the garden. Always wear your hat and your sunscreen. Thanks everybody. Bye.